few years. Dr. Liberty Vittert studies these trends, professor of data science, Washington University in St. Louis, features editor of the Harvard Data Science Review, also my favorite sister, with us now. Are we more stressed, or is it simply socially acceptable to be stressed?
We have created a culture where everyone wants to be more stressed than the other. And it's okay to have your mental health mean that you can't work or have mental health days. It's a whole new culture. It's not that work has gotten harder. We've actually gotten more stressed. It's that we've actually gotten softer, I think would be the appropriate way to put it. And we know that because the amount of people who are working with stress is the same as the general public with stress. It's not that working makes you more stressed. And, really, we're getting more vacation than ever, more paid time off, more maternity leave, more paternity leave. I mean, basically, when you add all these days up, we're now on a 4-day work week. We're working less than ever.
Yeah, and you point out it's really based on age, right? Gen Z, 6 out of 10 say they're stressed, down to baby boomers, 4 out of 10. The old, and we all hope to be an old person someday, 3.3 out of 10 people are stressed. I think our mother is in the people who are not stressed. Our father, you never know. But the flip side of this, and this is important for the younger generation, it's now the younger generation is being bombarded with, hey, if you're stressed, which is now culturally sort of chic to be stressed, take a bunch of drugs and be unstressed.
Not just take a bunch of drugs, stay home, don't work. I mean, just this week alone, I had 6 emails from students who said that they couldn't turn in their work on their deadline because of their mental health, because they were too stressed. I mean, that's nuts, and that's never been seen before. And my classes certainly haven't gotten harder over the past 5 to 10 years. Students are just more willing to say that they're stressed, and they're being told that they are stressed.
And they're being told
that they
need
to take mental health breaks.
And they're being told that it's okay. Right?
Exactly.
Now, the flip side of this would be China, right? They have the 9-9-6 rule, 9 to 9, 6 days a week. I'm wondering, and I know you attend a lot of conferences, do professors in China have the same pressures to offer mental health days that you do?
Absolutely not. I think we tend to forget that this country was built on a 6-day, a 7-day work week, and that all of these other countries that we're competing against are on a 7-day work week, and they're catching up. And it's really dangerous how we're raising sort of this fragile generation that doesn't understand how to work.
You think about the percentage of Americans on at least one antidepressant by age group. Certainly more females than males. 45 to 64-year-old females, almost a quarter on a antidepressant, almost 10% on anti-anxiety meds. How much of this is causation by the drug companies spending a lot of money advertising to people and then creating their own demand?
Enormous amounts. There's actual studies that show that almost 50% of the drugs that are prescribed for anti-anxiety or for something like ADHD aren't actually treating anything. They are things that people have manifested or psychologically believe they need rather than they actually have. Now, there are some people that have been incredibly helped by these drugs,
right.
But it's really important to recognize that a lot of times the first thing you should go to is not prescription drugs and should be other things.
No, it's the breakdown of the stigma about mental illness has been really important. The pendulum in America always tends to swing too far, which is why you have a great job telling us what data we need to pay attention to and what we don't. Liberty, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Have an unstressed weekend. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.